Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Mini Motors. So in this one, we're going to be back on the Mega Moto Mini Bike, and what we got going on today is some new shoes. Got some street type tires for it, because this is going to be mainly my performance-based build, which will mostly be on the streets, not much off-roading. And then also, the tires that are going to come off of here, they're still good, that the front tire actually matches the rear tire that was bad on the monstrosity moto, so it's going to go on there. So then that thing will be a roller, and then we can start getting the motor on that thing. Another thing I picked up for this guy is the hydraulic brake setup from GoPowersports.com. It's a fully self-contained unit, which is nice. It's got the master cylinder here and your caliper. It's already all set up and bled, pressurized, everything, so it's just bolt on and go. But on the Mega Moto Mini Bikes, you also need to buy this little adapter bracket so that it sits in the right position. So we're going to go ahead and I'll probably get this rear tire off of here, the rear wheel, excuse me, off, and then I can also do the brakes at the same time while that's off. I'm also going to pull this fender off and scrap it because it broke again last time somebody was riding it, and so this will just run without a rear fender. But for now, let's go ahead and get this rear tire off here, and that's where we're going to start. Alright, so I went ahead and got the wheel and everything pulled off, and what I'm going to do just to make changing this tire easier is I'm going to go ahead and pull off the brake disc and also the sprocket, and once I get that off of there, I'll probably pull the front wheel off at the same time so that I'm not doing tires at separate times, I'm doing them at the same time. So let's get to the hyperlapse. Alright, so here's the front wheel and tire, and I can tell already that there's a little bit of a bend in the rim here. That must be when they hit the rock and bent the forks when I first picked this thing up, but I think eventually I'll end up replacing the wheels. But anyways, for now, first thing I need to do is go ahead and get the air out of here, and I'll let it a little bit out, and then I'll probably just pull the valve out, and so it'll just bleed out quicker. Actually, I'm just going to do it now. Hopefully it doesn't become a rocket. There, now all the air's out. And what I'm going to have to do is pop this off the bead and then use the tire spoons I got here to pop this off. And I just got this is dish soap and water and spray bottle just to help lubricate things up, make them come off a little easier. So I will go ahead and speed this up and get this tire off here. Alright, so the tire is now off there. You can see here maybe a little bit where that rim's bent, but it was holding air, so at least it should be okay for now. So now I will get a new tire, and then pretty much the opposite of that, just get this one on there with the tire spoons, and then I'll have to try to get this thing to beat up, and hopefully it'll be pretty easy. So let's get to hyperlapse again. Okay, so that was on there. Not a very pretty way of doing it, but I got it. So now I'm going to put the valve back in, tighten it down. Sometimes you can just put air in here and it'll beat itself, so let's see. Oh, I end up getting it. Awesome. I'm just gonna get this thing filled up to the proper pressure, and then it can go back on the bike. And then I'll just skip showing you guys the rear tire one because it's the same as this. And then I'll show you getting it all back together. Alright, so got the new tires installed. I went ahead and got the rear sprocket and brake disc put on the rear wheel. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the front one installed because it's done. But then before getting this guy back on there, I need to take the brake and run it from the handlebars all the way down. And then, because I gotta have this all ready to go when I put this in, because this bracket is supported by the axle. So let's go ahead and get that front tire put on, or excuse me, front wheel mounted, and then we'll go ahead and pull off the old brakes and start running the new ones. Alright, so I realized I forgot to hit record the entire time I was putting the back wheel back on. But it was really simple. It's just, putting the axle back in there. The only difference is with the old caliper bracket, there's a spacer on it that is about a ½ inch. And since that's not used anymore, I had to come up with a way. So I just found a bunch of washers that I could use. And ended up I had to put 3 on the wheel side of the bracket, and then 1 on this side of the bracket, and then now it all lines up and should be good to go. So what I got left to do is just to zip tie up the rest of the hydraulic brake line just so it's not going to get caught on anything. And then I think I should be able to take this thing off the lift and go test the brakes. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I got the new tires on here, the new brakes, and as you can see the brakes do work really well, so that's a nice plus because I wanted to be able to stop good before my next step, because I have actually purchased a stage 2 kit for this Predator. So I'm going to remove the governor, aluminum flywheel, the whole works, even got a slide carb. So this thing is going to really wake up here really quick, so I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to stop. And then also I got some stuff for the monstrosity motor, because now that the tire that came off of here is going to go on there, I actually got a rolling frame, and we can now start getting the engine on there and everything. And so soon I'll have 2 mini bikes ready to ride. And yeah, so like I said, that's going to wrap this one up. If you like what I'm doing, give me a like. If you want to say something, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot. Have a good one, guys.